Hello everyone and happy Pride Month. I know I'm a little late, but I was busy.
Yeah. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah, I get it. Spooky. The king of pop better eat my ass. Please just roll down the fucking stairs if you have to. No. No! What's your plan? No. Mr. Jackson, I was joking. Anyway, so I am drawing Shira because, I wanted to draw her. It's Pride. I feel like that's fitting. As you can see, I'm not using Paint Tool at the moment, but that's just because I like the sketching function in Photoshop. Even though Photoshop is trash and Adobe's trash as a company, we're just out here doing our best. Anywho, I wanted to draw Shira because Shira as a show is very important to me and I really love it. It has a lot of the elements that I like within a show and also has a lot of characters that I simply adore and love. Katra, for example, is someone who I immensely relate to. She's my baby, my boo, my everything, my cinnamon apple. Like, I stan. She's wonderful. She loves Adora. I love Adora. You see, we're getting somewhere with this. So today I sort of just wanted to go off about Shira and also different sort of media and representation in, cartoons or shows or whatever for the gays. But yeah, I feel like a lot of sort of arguments and misconceptions that a lot of people have is that, oh, well, there's enough of you around, there's enough of you in media, you don't need any more. Like, there are so many, which to me is absurd because a lot of the time that representation usually comes in the form of, being the butts of jokes or a lot of homophobia, a lot of problematic things. Because like as Pride Month arrives, so does the discourse with the straights, the discourse among the gays. It's all a mess and no one's happy. And we're all just arguing constantly. And with that sort of comes with, people being like, oh, look at this media that has the gays in her, blah, 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 it's so good. And something that really comes to mind when I think about sort of toxic media or media that's not particularly good, but is praised for just including the gays is Call Me By Your Name, which I don't think is good representation considering it displays a toxic relationship between a much older man and a much younger man, which is a problem that a lot of LGBTs go through, since a lot of the time I feel like it's portrayed to us like it sort of goes along that whole gay predatory stereotype, which is never fun. Like, it's never fun to equate someone's sexuality to being predatory. But also a lot of media is just predatory gays, especially old media. Old media has like a lot of that predatory gay stuff. And when you're young and you're trying to grow up and figure yourself out, and the only way that you have of sort of viewing and finding things out about yourself is through media that portrays you as predatory or shows you that, hey, these relationships, they're fine, they're good, they're snatched. And I'm like, so what? That's weird. Why would you praise that? Why would you say this is great, this is good, this is a-okay? It just has me a little shaken up, like, to say the least. It's a little frustrating, I'd say at best, that a lot of it is, predatory or fetishized to the shit house and back. And like I said, what are you supposed to take away from that as someone who grows up as LGBT? Like, you're supposed to be like, well, I'm only here to satisfy the needs of other people. Am I just a sexual object? Like, what's happening? What's hip and happening, And it's just it's weird. It's weird growing up like that, and it's weird because for a lot of people, and a lot of younger LGBT and queer youths, it's a lot of their first exposure to the gays or anything that's not heterosexual is through NSFW means, be it that like some sort of porno or just like smut in general. A lot of people unfortunately like go through like the whole Fujiyoshi phase until they sort of figure out that that's bad and toxic, unless they're most likely het, and then they just never get out of that. But a lot of that first initial exposure is through porn, unfortunately, and that's really upsetting. It's really upsetting that the first thing that we see of ourselves is in this sexual context. You're a child, and to not have a lot of resources and things to sort of humanize you a little more, because I'll tell you this, porn isn't very humanizing. It's porn. I don't know what to say. It's porn. That's just that. And it's just unfortunate and weird. And so that's why I think that like different types of representation in shows is necessary, both for older people and for younger people especially. And another sort of frustration that I have when it comes to representation in media is that when we do get representation, then people are like, well, that's it. Like, you have it. You have that representation. So shut up. You already have enough gays on TV. Blah, 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 blah. But like I said, it's usually in the form of a butt of a joke. Or, I don't like that media. Why is that so hard to understand that for me, I love Shira because, like I said, it has everything that I love, and it has fantasy elements, Catra, magic. It's got a lot of the things that I love. But for other people, they don't like fantasy, and that's normal. That's taste. Like, they just have different sort of tastes. So for example, someone might like very heavy medieval fantasy where there's very rarely any magic, sort of like Game of Thrones kind of things, or they like heavy sci-fi or anything else. And I feel like a lot of the gay rep that we get is through, sitcoms and things like that. And I personally don't like sitcoms. They're fine, they're great. Everyone was like raving when One Day at a Time was going on, and I think shows like that are very important, and I think they're very good. But to think that everyone should watch those and everyone who is LGBT should go and look at those things, I think it's unfair and a little stupid, because like I said, everyone has different tastes, and it's not fair to just have one type of show for everyone, for one type of person. It's stupid. It's mind-blowing to me that everyone thinks that we can just fit this one mold, or everyone thinks that, well, this is the gay, so we must support it. Like, not all the gay things are gonna be good. Like I said, Call Me by Your Name, for example, bad. There was this other like lesbian movie that I forget the name of, but the actresses were like abused on set. The fucking movie itself was very, again, fetishized, and just portrayal of toxic and bad relationships and bad things that you shouldn't pursue. And not to say that you can't explore toxic and bad things with gay people. It's just that a lot of the times when these things are pursued, and this goes not just for the gays or whatever, this goes for all media and all sort of things, you can show bad things. You can show things like rape, pedophilia, toxic and abusive relationships, things that are inherently bad. You can show those things definitely. Not in children's media, but you can show those things definitely. But the difference is between showing those things in a positive and a negative light. And a lot of the times these things are shown in a positive light, that these are okay, these are the things that you're allowed to engage in. Actually, it's really good to be with someone who's so much older than you and you're so young. Like, that's just straight up grooming at that point. That is grooming. That is terrifying. It's scary. Grooming. You're grooming kids to think these sort of things are okay. And that's why a lot of people are sort of like in uproar when sensitive media is shown on television and isn't handled properly. It's not, oh, this is silencing, this is censorship, the SJWs are at it again. hello, where is my freedom of speech? And it's like, freedom of speech only allows you to say what you want, not to protect you from the consequences. 2, again, my point is you're allowed to show negative and harmful tropes and all those things, just not in a positive light that advocates for them. Because when you advocate for those negative things, I mean, what does that say about the message that you're trying to give? It's crazy. Hello, use your brains for 2 seconds, please. And like I said, when things like, things like LGBT media is just toxic and just negative things, then I don't know what to say. Except that sends a bad message to the gay youths out there. And it's a little frustrating when people can't see that, or people choose to turn a blind eye because there's one show that's good, or there's 2 shows that are good. That's 2 in how many billions of shows? No one wants to be represented poorly, and no one wants to be shown as the villain or as bad or as stereotyped or blah 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 blah, a bunch of things. Nobody wants that. So why should it be any exception for us? Anyway, I suppose that's it for my little rant. I hope I wasn't too all over the place. I just with Shira being such a positive example and I feel like good representation for a lot of the youths, I just sort of wanted to talk a little bit about that topic and my feelings of it, because I do want to enter that field and that realm of media and all that stuff. I just, it sucks to have to engage also with such toxicity and everything else that comes along with it within the present day and within, how things are right now. But things are getting better, so that's good. People are making strides. It's all good. It's all Gucci. Go watch Shira. Go watch Ruby, which is something I never thought I'd be seeing in 2019. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope, again, I wasn't too all over the place, and I will see you soon next time. I don't know when my next video is coming out, but it's gonna be Pokemon. Okay, bye.